you know, it's a good thing I did a video on all of the comic book movies coming out in 2018. I feel like that's a good evergreen video that people can keep referring back to see when the movie they're most excited for is coming out. I really hope that doesn't become out of date 2 weeks after I posted it. Damn it. So yeah, 2 of the movies I talked about in that video have officially changed release dates. Deadpool 2, which is oddly enough still unofficially titled, has been shifted to May 18th, 2 weeks earlier than its original intended release. It's believed that this was done so that Deadpool doesn't get buried by Solo, a Star Wars story which is coming out on May 25th. Although, to be honest, I don't understand how Deadpool can be buried by a movie that doesn't have a trailer or even a poster yet. But in the same announcement, it was said that the New Mutants, which was supposed to come out in April of 2018, has now been pushed to February of 2019. Oh, and something about the Gambit movie being moved, but let's be real, it'd be a miracle if that film ever saw the light of day. So yeah, the New Mutants got moved, but why? And what does this mean for not only the next generation of X-Men films, but the last generation of Fox X-Men films? Movies are often delayed or pushed back for various reasons, often to allow more time to polish and fine-tune the final product to make it the best it could possibly be. But things start to get a little fishy when a movie that was supposed to come out in 3 months all of a sudden gets moved to the next calendar year, which is exactly what happened with the New Mutants. And like I said, this was originally supposed to come out in April of this year, but is now coming out in February of next year. You'd imagine that by this point, the movie would be close to done. I don't think there's anything more they can do to the script. I'd imagine they filmed everything they wanted to. If anything, they probably still have some editing and special effects, maybe even music left to do, but that's all doable within a 3-month time span. Part of the reason given for its delay was so that it doesn't overlap with Deadpool in certain regions of the world, but I don't know, a delay this long usually means that something went wrong. Something happened during the making of the movie or during the editing, and somebody higher up decided that something needed to change. According to the website The Tracking Board, the New Mutants had its first screen test, and it tested well, but not great. To try and remedy this, the studio decided to delay the film and give the creative team ample amount of time to go back and reshoot new scenes and elements to try to make it more of a horror movie and less a traditional superhero movie. So yeah, that trailer we got back in October, the one that confirmed this was gonna be a spooky, scary movie, turns out the movie wasn't spooky or scary enough. So the plan now, at least according to the Tracking Board, is to go all in on the horror. And with the success of movies like It and Get Out, horror has proven to be a very lucrative option for a movie studio to make. So what this tells me is that the New Mutants wasn't going to be a horror movie with some superhero elements, as I was led to believe by the trailer. If anything, it's the reverse. It was a superhero movie with some horror elements to it. And the trailer only really played up the horror elements to set it apart from the pack. Which, you know what? Fine. Make it scarier, make it stand out as much as possible from the literally hundreds of other comic book movies coming out this year. But delaying the film until next year seems like a very long time. Surely if they just wanted to make it scarier, that shouldn't take that long to do in terms of reshoots. Which is where this theory comes in, that the delay isn't necessarily to make the movie scarier, but to add scenes that incorporate the New Mutants into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Say what? This is all just conspiracy theory at this point, but if you ask me, it's one that sort of makes sense. Disney did just spend billions of dollars buying all of 20th Century Fox's non-news and sports assets. That includes the movie rights to the X-Men. I may have mentioned this once or twice before. It was unclear at the time what this meant for any Fox films currently in development or close to being released. I just assumed Disney would let any film currently in production wrap up and get released before they decide what to do next. but maybe that's not the case anymore. Maybe Disney wants to add the X-Men into the MCU and they're using the New Mutants to do it. Theoretically, it could work. The New Mutants aren't as well known as the X-Men are, so integrating these characters into the MCU would be a lot easier than established characters like, say, Wolverine and Professor X. Also, all these characters are younger characters, teens and kids, so it would be easier to pull off mutation as a more modern thing rather than something that's been around all these years. And 10 months is a lot of time to add substantial subplot elements like S.H.I.E.L.D. has been watching them the whole time, or the Avengers come in and decide that they will shelter these New Mutants. But as cool as that would be, I don't think this is what's happening. I mean, let's be honest here. If Marvel and Disney wanted to add the X-Men to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they'd go with the characters we know. Introducing a new Wolverine and a new Magneto would do a lot more for building up hype and anticipation for the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe than, say, introducing Wolfsbane and Cannonball into the MCU. Plus, I don't think they're ready to add the X-Men or mutants in general to the MCU between this movie, Deadpool, Dark Phoenix, the Gambit movie that I know isn't coming out, and now apparently a Kitty Pryde movie in development. It looks like we're not done with the Fox era X-Men. So it really does look like these reshoots are to add more horror elements to the New Mutants, which again, fine, do whatever you gotta do to upgrade that well to a great. But it is important to remind ourselves that we are living in a post-Rogue One world, a world where movie studios will re-edit and chop up movies right up until the premiere in order to get it as perfect as possible, and often without the director's involvement. So it's not wrong to ask these kind of questions, it's just that in this certain case, the answer looks pretty boring. But what do you guys think about the New Mutants delay? Do you think it's to try and add the film to the MCU, or do you think it's to just make it scarier? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. Or do you think it's to cover up the fact that the movie sucks and they're doing everything they can to try and make it decent as possible? You know, a Justice League situation. I guess I'll use this delay to get a better New Mutants comic to represent what the movie is going to be. I mean, Cable's not going to be in it. This is, again, just the only issue I own. Of course, we have new videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and all of those debut first on twitch.tv/wolfden, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those will all go up on YouTube shortly thereafter. And every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube is Wolf Den Live. So make sure you subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend who doesn't know that New Mutants has been delayed. He really should be up on this stuff. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.